Hello, folks. This is Partner Steve Barrios dialing in from Hillsborough, New Jersey. Hope all is well. Happy Wednesday. This is our team call that we have each week. It's good for the newcomer. We have a lot of new associates on board here from Texas, Massachusetts, New Jersey, and also North Carolina. Welcome. It's good for the person who's just getting re-engaged, and it's good for the person that wants to kick their business up a notch. All right, that's just the reality of it. It's about getting started, staying started, and that's the battle of this game. Okay, just staying started. There's two sides of this business, right? The number one side, or we'll say one side, or a side A, is showing the program. You show the video, whether it's the 10-minute little Viridian show the program video, or maybe it's the 4-minute solar opportunity video, whatever you prefer to do. And then we go through that process. Number two, there's the getting the customer points, right? That's a big part of our business. That's how we get paid, right? And that's how we make our ripple effect, right? The impact, helping the environment, helping people save money, energy independence, creating jobs, and quite honestly, we're making a difference in people's lives because they're making extra money for whatever they may need, right? And number three, it's duplicating that process, right? We help people duplicate the process, right, and kind of go from there. Then there's the other side of the business. So that's system one, and this is system two. Is number one, staying plugged into calls like this. We all know we have the Bob Q call on Monday. We have the Cup of Joe O call Tuesday and Thursday. We do this call Wednesday night. This is our team call. There's Sunday calls, so that's called staying plugged in. You learn something new. It keeps your rhythm, it keeps your momentum going, and it's pretty important. And then number two, find a meeting in your backyard, right? Go to a backyard meeting, right? We'll call it the backyard plan, right? So what you do is you go in and meetings go right here, meetings and events, right? Go to calendar and find something near your zip code. It's that simple, and commit yourself to a meeting once a week, okay, if you have something in your backyard, because that'll keep you engaged. And if you could bring somebody to the meeting as a second or third exposure, whatever the case may be, that's even better. But the most important person is yourself. And the number three, ask yourself, and I would ask yourself, what are you reading and what are you listening to, right? It's all about personal development, becoming a better you, and helping others become a better them. And that's the other system of this business. And listen, I know, just to announce a couple meetings here, Dave Fernandes and his Massachusetts team, they have an unbelievable meeting every Monday in Peabody. And that's Director Dave Fernandes, partner Alex Ramali up in Massachusetts, also I think near the airport at the Hilton Garden, beautiful Hilton Garden, quite honestly. And I'm in the hotel business. I'm with Hyatt, but very, very nice property there. They have a meeting up there every Wednesday night. Every once a week on Wednesday nights. Every other Thursday, we do a meeting in South Plainfield, New Jersey. We have ours tomorrow night. There's a meeting, all over Texas, folks. There's a meeting all over Texas. I know once a week there's a meeting in Houston. There's a meeting in Texas. And listen, don't be afraid to start your own meeting. We all been there, done that, and kind of go from there. Take charge, be that leader, and go from there. And then also there's some webinars going on too, and anyone could do a webinar. That's a reality of it. If you build this thing virtually and go from there. So stay plugged in, which is really important. And today, we're going to talk about a few things. We have Director Dave Fernandes on the phone, and then also our other co-host, Director Dennie Goodwin out of good old Houston, Texas. And Texas just went live this past Friday, so those folks are very excited down there. But before we get into the call, I just want to mention one other big promo going on right now, and you see it right here, right? It's double. Okay, between November 16th and the 20th, okay, everybody across the board gets to earn double the fast action bonus, right? So those folks in Texas, they're in their fast action bonus right now, right? So and if they get two revolutions, okay, that money gets doubled, okay? So that 200 is 4, right? And they hit it twice, it's $800. Now, in a fast action, and that's any new associate between the time frame, quite honestly, but in the fast action, you get to do that 3 times. So ultimately, you get to earn about $1,200. Now, the other folks that are out there, we get double the money, which is awesome. Okay, because we earn 100 now, 100, we earn 200. So go out there and make yourself some extra Christmas money, some extra Thanksgiving money, whatever you like to do. But you know what that does? That builds momentum in your business. And once again, we're dramatically helping the environment, creating jobs and energy independence, and kind of go from there. Number two, the other thing I want to touch base on, not right there, let me just go here, is the V-Pro training. It's the first training of its kind in Viridian, and it's in Norwalk, Connecticut. It's a Saturday, December 5th, and it is a free training. If you are in striking distance of Connecticut, it's simple. I already registered. It's free. Okay, I think it's from like 9 to 12, or whatever the case may be. And listen, if you're going to go and you want to stay the night before, what I'm going to do is, I didn't check the Hyatt rates yet. I'm going to see if we have any Hyatt friends and family rates available. So let me know if you want to go the night before and stay over. If it's a little bit of a drive for you, and kind of go from there. I can check some rates for you. Just email me or text me, whatever the case may be, and kind of go from there. And that's it. But real quick, Dave Fernandes, are you on the phone?
I sure am, sir.
Hey, buddy, how you doing? How about real quick also, Dennie Goodwin, are you on the line? I think Denny's there somewhere. But anyway, Dave, do you want me to say a few words before we get into tonight's subject of we're going to talk about follow-up? You just want to say a few words on what's going on right now with Viridian?
Yeah, it's pretty exciting, especially with the Texas launch and how big that state's going to be. But with all these bonuses, obviously they want to attack Texas and get people out there, but they're opening the doors for all the other associates in the organization. So, if you're with this company and you've been with this company for a while, you know that these bonuses come once in a while. But here's a great thing to go out and get some revolutions and make some extra money, like you said,
Absolutely. And just elaborate on revolution. How do you hit it? Just for the newcomer, how do you hit a revolution?
Revolution counts as 5 points. Okay, electric 1, gas 1, solar qualified lead is 1. If the contract goes live, it's considered as 2 points. So those are your points, and if they go greener or cleaner, it's a third quarter of a point. So some people do go greener and spend that extra money. You get extra points on that as well. But it's if you've been in the business and you're, for instance, Texas, they're in their fast track, right? So us as individuals that have been in the company for a while, you still can go out there and get the revolution, which is
excellent. And if you're a new associate and you get your website, that's considered 2 points also, right?
2 points within your first 28 days.
Right, exactly. So if you're a new person, okay, so for you new associates out there, that like what Dave just said, and we'll talk about Texas, and I know my friend down in North Carolina is in his 28 days, and congratulations, Ivan, he hit his first revolution. He got 5 points already. And listen, Ivan lives in North Carolina, folks, and he hit a revolution. So my hat's off to you. And he's going at this and kind of go from there. He's tapping at the states where we're live. You know what I mean? We're not live in North Carolina. So you got a head start. You got 2 points. Go out and get 3 more customer points. You hit your first one, but you want to go a little fast on that right now because you want to get at least 2 by November 20th, so you could double that money. And quite honestly, go out and get 15 points. You know what I mean? Because why not? And make $1,200, which is exciting stuff, and go from there. And Dave, you want to talk a little bit about, before we showed a little video, how important it is, the whole, the follow-up process. They talk about the money's in the follow-up. Could you just elaborate a little bit on that?
Yeah, the follow-up is very important because essentially with network marketing, some people that you approach might need to see this, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, and sometimes even 7 times before they get into the business. When I say 7 times, meaning it could be an STP, could be a meeting, could be just a regular video, customer video, 7 exposures to the business. And the follow-up is huge. So let's say you bring someone to the meeting, right? And some people are not going to sign up right away. before they leave, you have to set up another appointment with that person. It could be a week from now, 2 weeks from now, whatever the case may be. You have to specifically ask them what day they want to sit with you and when, right? Because that's important, right? Because some people are not going to sign up the first time they look at this business. So keep that in mind, and always make up a follow-up, because that's very important. Because if you don't make that follow-up, here's what's going to happen. And this has happened to me. I know it's happened to everybody. And if it doesn't, that means you're not building the business. You're not doing STPs, okay? And you're not talking about your business. If you don't make that follow-up appointment, this is what you're going to be doing. You're going to be chasing people. And then they're going to say, oh, my God, this guy's calling me again. You're just going to be that annoying person that's constantly calling this person if you don't set up an appointment with them. Because if you set up the appointment, him as a friend or a family, they have to, follow up with you because they set up that appointment with you when they, first saw the presentation, SDP, etc.
Excellent. And is it fair to say, after you show the plan, show the program, or even listen, not everyone's going to get into the business. It may just be a follow-up on a customer, right? Whether it's an electric or gas customer or a solar customer, it's always good to kind of reconnect with them within 48 hours, whether it's a cell call, call them on the cell phone, send a quick little email, a little text, and then kind of go from there. And you're right, Dave, when you set that appointment for a follow-up, it's always good sometimes, well, not sometimes, all the time, to leave something behind with them. You know what I'm saying? So it gives you an opportunity to kind of follow up with them, you know what I mean, and kind of go from there. And some of the things that we could leave are our sustainability report. We want to leave something that gives this business credibility, because it's more, it's as credible now as it ever will be. It's just the reality of it, right? Success Magazine with Viridian, highlighting Viridian. Even, I've left behind Eric Worre's Rise of the Entrepreneur CD. So we have so many tools to leave behind. So it's really important to do something, because that allows you to do what next on the follow-up. And Dave's right. It takes 6 to 10 exposures, right? I read a book, The Sales Professional. I forgot the name, but 6 to 10 exposures sometimes to close on a business. So what are we saying here? You got to be patient with this business, okay? And that's the reality of it. And listen, this business could be built virtually. So there's all different ways of connecting with people, be it Skype, just over the phone, Facebook messaging. That's how Ivan and I kind of connect with each other all the time. Denny down in Texas, my Delaware team, how I help them build, and even Dave Fernandes and I sometimes connect that way as well. So there's all different ways of doing that. If you don't have, let's say that individual in your backyard because you're tapping into other states. So we'll keep that in mind as well, because we could use technology to our advantage. But you have to be patient sometimes, like with any business, and people bow out too prematurely, too easy, because of the lack of patience, so to say, and kind of go from there. Hey, Dave, should we watch a real quick little, I think it's a 6-minute little video on the whole follow-up in the back office under the university?
Yeah, sure. I'm just going to add to what you said, right?
Go ahead, buddy.
Some people take 6 to 10 times to see this, right? Around the third or fourth time, just get some closure, because some people are afraid to tell you that they don't want to join. Let them know. It's okay if you don't want to join this business. Your friendship means more to me than you joining my business.
Absolutely. Right? That's a great point, brother. That's a great point.
Give them a couple of months and then talk to them and see what's going on. They're not going to join right away, So
absolutely.
You don't want to lose a friendship because of a business.
Absolutely. That's a really solid point. And be matter of fact, and just like Dave said, we don't want to be chasing people. This business is not about chasing people. So real quick, we're going to watch this little 7-minute little video. If you have a pen and paper, take some notes. This stuff is in our back office. So we're showing you it's under Viridian University. You go under Build Your Business, and then all the tools, the videos are there. So let's watch this quick little 7-minute little video.
Hello, my name is Henri Eminier, and I'm a Platinum Partner with Viridian, here to talk to you about Step 6, follow up and follow through. The fortune and the friendship is in the follow-up. If you're not going to follow up and follow through, what's the point of even showing the program? What's the point of even going out? When I train my team to follow up, I train them using the acronym FORM, F-O-R-M, family, occupation, recreation, and then, of course, motivation. I want my team to get to know their prospect. Do they have children? Do they have grandchildren? I want them to know a few things about them. Do they have a business-related past? What do they do for a living now? What do they like to do for recreation? And then, of course, money. What level of income are they looking for? These are the pieces of the prospect's puzzle that you want to learn when you're showing them the program. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. When you show them the program without learning what's really important to them, you've really only done about half of the job. So when you're following up, you need to refer back to the things that they told you about themselves on the initial interview. The whole follow-up process begins when you make the first phone call. You want to follow up from there and have that meeting. You always want to do what you say you're going to do. You want to make specific appointments and then keep them. If you say you're going to be somewhere, be there and be focused on the prospect. You're building your credibility at this point, and when you don't follow through with plans you've made, that trust and credibility is diminished. It's best to ask them how they want to be followed up with, either by phone, by email, by text, and set a specific time for that next appointment. It's very critical to get back to them within that 30-hour window in person whenever possible. There's a good rule to follow, 30, 30, 30. Give a 30-minute presentation, follow up within 30 hours, and answer their questions, and get them building their business within 30 days. The average person needs to see this presentation 5 times before making a decision to either become an associate or a customer. It's important to keep that in mind in the follow-up and follow-through process. Of course, if a prospect is ready to get started, sign them up. Remember, a no is never a no. A no is a not now. A fellow that's at the top of my largest line said no for about 5 months. The guy atop his largest line said no for 2 years. A no is not a no. It's a not now. People need to be in the looking zone. They can be the most fantastic candidate there is, but not at that particular moment. We need to detach ourselves from the outcome. If it comes to a point when a prospect finally says, not now, they will become your customer if you treated them with respect during the prospect. Reiterate to them that they are saying not now and ask their permission to stay in touch with them about what's going on in your business. If they become a customer, let them know that if there are events or new announcements you think they'll be interested in, you'll be in touch. If they're leaning toward becoming an associate, what I want to do is help the candidate to understand that Viridian is not the end itself, but rather a means to an end. So I found out what's important to them during the presentation, that they can only achieve by having more time or more money. Then I asked them if they have any way of getting that by doing what they're doing now. The answer to that is always no. Next, I asked if they would like me to work with them and help them to develop a plan to get what it is that they want. It's essential that we connect with people on an emotional level throughout this process. This may be the most logical business on the planet, but frankly, logic will not keep people engaged long term if they're emotionally detached. The reason for this is the moment someone challenges that logic, they'll be gone unless they can balance that with an emotional attachment, specifically to the person or team that will help them achieve their goals and dreams. I believe it's essential to involve a third party during the follow-up and follow-through process. I always introduce my candidate as quickly as possible to my up team and to the rest of the leadership. I want them to have a connection. I do that either on a 3-way call at the end of a larger hotel presentation or whenever possible. I use cross-team associates that I have a bond with to further connect them to the team. Keep your coach informed on your progress with your key prospects so they're available to enter into the process. This allows them to be there to edify you and vice versa. Build your leaders up so through a trickle-down effect, it then edifies you. This elevates you in the eyes of your candidate when you show respect for the team. The follow-up and follow-through process is a matter of always bringing someone to the next step and showing them how to get credible information. It's always better to teach a man to fish than to give a man a fish. I want to show people how to find credible information that pertains to Viridian through reliable sources such as Viridian.com, liveviridian.com, their local utility website, and the Board of Public Utilities. I want to use as many of the tools that are available to me as possible because that takes me out of the equation and makes everything I do duplicatable. I'm teaching them by showing them. I want to leave them with sustainability reports, the follow-up pack, sometimes even the invite pack. I definitely want to leave them with an associate application and a customer application as well. How great is that when you go back to follow up and you have a completed application? Everything that I do needs to point that contact to the team or to the system. Everything I do needs to meet 4 criteria. It needs to be learnable, teachable, duplicatable, and effective. It's not enough just to be duplicatable. It has to be effective. Finally, most people, when they're following up, make the mistake of not keeping it simple and short. Keep it concise, hit the key points, don't overwhelm. Remember, one of the most common objections is time limitation, so keep each contact short and to the point. That's how you keep them interested.
Well, folks, it's really that simple. And I really like, real quick, just to highlight a couple, just real 2 things, and I'll just get to Dave too. I like the form: family, occupation, recreation, and motivation. And I like the last thing that he said in the follow-ups: just keep it simple. Dave, do you have any parting words, buddy?
No, just thank you for everybody that's on the call that served our country, and happy Veterans Day, and appreciate it. So if it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't have the freedom to be here or even do this business.
Absolutely, no doubt about it, and I echo that as well. And Denny, are you on the call?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me now?
Hey, buddy. There's our good old buddy Denny, director from Texas, and Denny, you were in the Air Force, right?
Yes, sir, I was.
Yep, and thank you so much. We appreciate that.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I believe Luis is also on, and he's one of my close friends, and he was in the Air Force as well. We met while we were both deployed.
Wow, that's awesome.
And,
thank you.
Yeah, so we know each other for a while. But hey, just to add to the earlier part about the different tools, another really good tool that not very many people know about, and I'm sure they've heard of Joe Occhiogrosso, one of the big names in Viridian. And he and Frank, they do a lot of things for Viridian associates, just everybody, which one of them is the Power 50 call. And I think that is a very good tool for people to use if there's somebody that's on the fence about marketing itself. You know, they could give them this little phone number and say, hey, just give this number a call. It's just 4 minutes out of your time. And it really does bring it home for that person, because it really is. Everything we do in a day-to-day basis, and I've mentioned it to many people itself, is that we network market for free on a daily basis. Hey, that's a nice jersey. Where did you get it? Well, I mean, not only are you network marketing for the brand, you're network marketing for the team or whatever else, you know. Hey, Mom, they got, 50% off on milk at the grocery store. Well, guess what? You're helping them sell milk. You might as well get paid for doing that, and I tell people that you kind of do it unconsciously. So, those are just, and also, like you said, just take it slow. And it's definitely one of those things where it doesn't have to be a rat race. You just have to take your time and be patient, because some people just take more time.
Yeah, that's great. And one more thing, Denny, and thank you. That's awesome stuff, and you hit it home right there. How was you had the pleasure of being at the launch in Texas? Just a few words about that, and did you put yourself in as your own customer, and just how that process went for you? If you could just say a few words.
Well, it was definitely a pretty fun night. I mean, just seeing Michael up there, on our CEO and founder, on stage, and he's talking, you can honestly feel the sincerity and the commitment to not just his associates underneath us, but just the community and our nation. He really is trying from the bottom of his heart to make the world a better place. And along with a lot of the other people, I got to meet the Uber guy. He was up on stage and everybody was cheering and screaming. I mean, it was just recognition given to just almost everybody that was there. Definitely a party that made you feel welcome and at home. And I noticed when they were doing the countdown, because I uploaded the video and I don't know how many people got to watch it, but they had the countdown. And the minute it hit 1, I wanted to jump off the freaking, recording and just start logging in so I can sign up as my own, customer right away. But I was like, well, you know what? I got to do this for the team. I'm going to record this because I'm sure other people want to see this. But as soon as I got back, I logged in and I checked to see if I was under contract. And I was, but it was ending this month anyway. So I said, boom, canceled. And I signed up and I got a really nice rate of 8.84 here. And this month's bill was about $170. And if I would have had Viridian, I would have saved $30 alone.
Wow.
And speaking of that, I just talked with a person that works at the DA's office that I was always dealing with when I was at burglary and theft. And, I was approaching her about being a customer. She was like, oh, I like to keep things simple. I'm the type of person that I don't like change. I like to stick with what I'm at. But since you're, a friend of mine, I'll go ahead and look at what you're talking about. So she gave me her number, and I looked it all up, and she told me that she used about 1488, so 1,488 kilowatts. And she said her bill was about $260. My jaw dropped because I used 1,500 kilowatts, and I was only doing 170. Well, Viridian was also giving her an 8.84 rate as the 12-month contract. And I told her, I said, hey, if you would have had Viridian, you would have been paying only $130, and you paid $260. You paid double with what you would have paid with Viridian. I think she fell out of a chair. I don't know. I said, you need to talk to your husband about switching this over, and I'll get back with you, tomorrow. And so I'm just, I'm glad we can help people, and everybody I've talked to is able to save some money. And it just, you just got to give them their time because everybody works at their own pace. But again, it's patience,
That's good stuff. That's perfect, man. That's a great story, and that's what this business is all about, telling our stories and inspiring each other to go out and do the same thing, exactly what you're doing. So great job down there. Dave Fernandes, once again, thank you for all you do for us. You're an awesome leader. That's no doubt about it. Denny, you too. We got Massachusetts, Texas, Delaware, New Jersey, North Carolina's in the house now, which is awesome stuff. Well, folks, let me just do this. Let me unmute real quick. Gonna unmute us a little bit here. Have a nice little call tonight.
Unmuted.
I want to thank you all for getting on the call, folks. I'll leave us with a little quote of the day. Have the confidence to reach your potential. And we all should have the confidence to do that, all right? But thank you once again. Happy Wednesday, and we'll see you all next week, okay? Go out there and get a revolution.